What is going on, beautiful people? Daniel here. I haven't made a video for a while because I've just been chilling, been tuning in, just been enjoying life. Went camping last weekend. It was pretty awesome. Went to Waterton, just on the border of Montana and Alberta. But anyway, I wanted to just make this quick video because I've been thinking, I've been so encouraged. I've been seeing multiple posts and different people talking about this new age to come, coming to the unity of the faith, coming into a higher perspective as we go through this consciousness shift on the planet right now. We're moving out of the church age into the kingdom age. We're moving out of the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. Consciousness on the planet is changing, and what I mean by that is the things that we're aware of as people are changing spiritually, mentally, emotionally, technological advancement. Everything is upgrading. See, the Bible says a couple things. Actually, it says a lot of things, but it says consistently a few times, think on things above, not below. Revelation 4 says, come up here and I will show you things to come. It's talking about going deeper, going higher. This is a consciousness upgrade. This is about seeing things differently. And what I wanted to say about this is just give some very practical, real life examples from my own life and something that one of my friends and brothers is going through right now too. So in 2019, I went to Zambia, to Africa, to preach the gospel, to do this, basically a missions trip. But it was like, unlike any other missions trip, it was like in the remote places. We went to remote villages that took days to walk to, but we went in by car. It was like 6 hours, but normally you can't drive in there because there's lakes and stuff around it, but it was a drought, so we could drive right in. And so even the head apostle of the church hadn't gone into this specific region for about 6 years. And so we had the opportunity and honor to go in and see these beautiful, amazing local people. And while we were in there, we had nothing. We had to sleep on the ground. Like I brought a mosquito net, but there was no trees to hang. And so like we literally slept on the dirt some nights outside. Like sometimes there was a hut, but this one night after a few days, so we were moving, like preaching morning, noon, evening, like multiple times a day. And just to give you an example, like the surrounding locations, people were walking in with days with like bins of water in their hands to come and just like, so that we could drink water, so that we could be honored in that way and like have water to wash our face and just basic necessities. And people were walking in because the people, the men and women of God from Canada and the United States were here to preach the good word, and they were wanting to get touched and have their life transformed. And so you can imagine the pressure of just hundreds of local people coming, and me and like 5 other people were there that were going to be preaching and stuff like that, and we were supposed to split it up. What ended up happening, because it was just so intense, it was so hot, like I was sunburned just like terribly. Like I was so badly sunburned, like I couldn't even touch my skin. I was peeling. The locals were bringing me aloe vera to put on, thank God. And it was just a very, very uncomfortable situation for the ego. It was a very uncomfortable situation if you were associated with yourself. A lot of people on that trip that had actually been on the trip before started to have ego collapses and breakdowns, freakouts, throwing their food into the, all we had to eat for weeks was this food called shima. Okay, and this shima is like a masa. It's like a corn blend, but it was mushed up, but like there's grits of sand in there and stuff. It just wasn't tasty. And me and my wife Renee are there, and we're sleeping on the ground, and it's the pinnacle. People are breaking down and everything, and it's at the point where there was nothing left to figure out. There was nothing left to do. People weren't capable of sharing anymore, preaching anymore. And all we could do was really go within and go, God, I surrender to you. I surrender to your plan and purpose. Okay. And so in the middle of the night, after all of this has transpired and everybody's at wit's end, it starts torrential raining, downpouring. And it hadn't rained for so long, and we're outside. Me and Renee are getting rained on. She starts to freak out a little bit, rightfully so. Everyone's freaking out. and I'm already the one who's supposed to be speaking tomorrow morning, and people are coming from everywhere. This is like 3 a.m. We haven't had any sleep. They're going to be there at like 6 a.m. And so I just surrendered, and I just said, God, I give my conceptual reality up of what I think needs to happen. See, in church age consciousness, we would be, oh, it's raining and all this bad stuff's happening and the devil's attacking you and circumstances are against you. And oftentimes, when circumstances are coming up in your life that are resisting the plan and purpose that you think God is supposed to be doing in your life, it's actually to break, refine, elevate, and heal you. All of the hard stuff that we go through in our lives is, in the church age, we considered that attacks from Satan, attacks from the enemy, attacks from the devil. And then we would pray against those attacks, not realizing that our prayers, the way that we think, the way that we feel, creates our state of being, and our state of being creates the reality that we're going to be seeing. Okay? And so all of the attacks are actually a reflection of your own heart, because as a person thinks in their own heart, so are they. And so the external attacks, reflections, struggles, relationship strife, financial breakdowns, whatever you're going through in your life right now is a direct reflection of unrenewed rocks and weeds that are in your own heart, that are from your ego, from your past programming as a child. And so God puts us through these things because we need to take a higher perspective and come up here. So in that moment, there was nothing that we could do to fight our way out, to pray our way out of this circumstance. And so we just surrendered, and we just said, thank you, God, for the rain. And I just began to go, God, I just thank you for the rain that's coming down on me. I thank you that we haven't had any sleep. I thank you for the breakdowns that's going on. I thank you for the sunburn. I thank you for all of this stuff in my life right now, because it's refining me. And guess what happened? We had a massive meeting where God downloaded in the middle of the night this message that I wish I had on film, and I preached the gospel with some chairs. Okay? And it was this interactive thing that the people would never forget, that I'll never forget, because it wasn't mine. It was the divine essence of Christ in me being activated, and the Spirit flowing through me and giving a message to them that they needed. Me, Daniel, the separate egoic identity, takes no responsibility for that, except for that I decided not to fight the circumstance. I decided not to resist my external enemies, but I turned the other cheek and walked a mile in the shoes of all of the strife, all of the rain, all of the junk that was happening. And it enabled a vibration to come through that brought about the best interest of all, because there was nothing of the separate self left to block it. God will put you through circumstances in your life that are so heavy, that are so hard, that are designed to get you to surrender, designed to bring you to the end of yourself. Because in the end of yourself, then you come into a place and a space where you can actually feel the divine embrace, and you let go of everything that you thought you were going to do, or that you planned on happening from your limited carnal mindset. Okay? The God of the universe and the universal flow of life is way bigger in this now moment than we could ever imagine, if we can just begin to let go of some of the thoughts and the things and judgments of our circumstances and the attachments we have to specific outcomes. Okay, so here's another example. One of my buddies right now, he's a phenomenal artist. Okay, and he's had an opportunity to go to London Fashion Week because his art is on this fashion designer's hat. And so they're there and they have this huge opportunity, but guess what happened? Their flight got delayed. Then their luggage got lost with all the hats, all the art, and all the material. And then on top of that, they weren't able to get on the flight with the luggage, and they're in a completely different spot right now. And they might get compensated, they might not. Everything is up in the air. Meanwhile, in a couple days, they got to go set up at London Fashion Week, which is a big deal, but they don't have anything there. They don't have any plan that they thought was going to happen. And so what I'm saying is in the church age, we would go, man, the devil's attacking us because there's this huge circumstance that's coming up in our life. The devil's attacking us because there's this great opportunity and he's trying to steal from us. What I'm saying is that in this next kingdom age, we need to come up higher. We need to leave behind the knowledge of good and evil, right and wrong, the battle mentality, living in duality, because as long as we live in duality, we're going to live in a dueling reality, okay? Duality equals a dueling reality, where I'm wrong, they're right. I'm right, they're wrong. They're good, I'm bad. They're bad, I'm good. And these circumstances are either against us or for us. God is blessing us, God is cursing us, or Satan is cursing us. When Jesus said, love your enemies, turn the other cheek. Why not resist your enemies? Because what you resist persists. And so this is an optic change. This is a higher vibrational level of consciousness that I'm talking about right now. And adopting this mindset that every perceived setback in your life is actually a divine setup for you to level up, for you to transcend your egoic limitations, for you to transcend the low vibrational attachments to outcome happiness. If I only had this, then I would be happy. If I only had a partner like this, then I'd be happy. All of these are egoic things that we've picked up in the world, the Romans 12:2 programs and patterns of the world, that we need to let go of. We need to be renewed in our mind and come up here, out of the battling lower vibrations of duality, where we're always in a fight, in a dueling reality, into the tree of life. What's the tree of life? The single eye. We're not double in our eye. We're not fighting circumstances anymore. We are accepting them. We are loving them. We are embracing them. And we are allowing the circumstances of life to shape and mold us and transform us through humility, through surrendering, through realizing that the divine essence and flow of life is, we're a part of it. We're not separate from life. Human beings are not separate from the creation on planet Earth. Okay? The earth and the world are different things. The earth is Gaia, a living organism, a living ecosystem that humans are involved in. But the world is the man-made egoic constructs and systems that are present on earth. So we're not to deny earth. God's traits are plainly seen in and through all of earth. We're to deny the worldly structures that are keeping people in bondage in duality. This is right, this is wrong. You need this much money, you need someone who looks like this. You need to be this way, you need to be that way. All bullshit. Okay? We need to come up to a higher vibrational reality where we're not fighting anymore, because when you're in fear, you fight or flight. Okay? We need to move out of those lower vibrations into acceptance. Wow, I just lost all my luggage. Wow, I'm in the middle of nowhere and getting rained on, and I haven't slept in 2 days, and I'm sunburned to shit. Whatever the circumstances for you. Wow, this is happening in my life. What if this is actually designed to shape and mold me? What if these circumstances are actually being attracted to me because of my own worldly patterns and programs in my own heart, and instead of me fighting them and staying in this vibrational frequency that I'm always in, I can begin to accept them, bring love to them, and allow my heart to shift. Allow my heart to be uprooted and removed of all of the rocks and the weeds and the junk. You get what I'm saying? So all this to say is that the higher vibrational level of reality, the new level of consciousness that is hitting the church, that is coming onto the planet right now, is moving out of a war mentality, knowledge of good and evil. We fight against what's evil. And we're moving up to the tree of life, the Edenic consciousness of pleasure, of flow, of life. There's a narrow road that leads to life, but the wide road leads to destruction. What's the wide road? The leaven of Herod, lawlessness, and the leaven of Pharisees, only the law. Those are the two ditches, but there's a narrow road that leads to life. It's a balance. It's a balance of it. It's the accepting of all of the craziness and all of the flow that happens, and realizing that who we are as spirit, who we are as divine beings of love and light, cannot be touched by any of these patterns and programs and circumstances. But these patterns, programs, and circumstances, the circumstances are the things that illuminate the patterns and programs in your heart, because as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So you are literally co-creating your reality with Christ. Okay? So my encouragement to you today is that because you're such a powerful being of love and light, and you're literally co-creating your reality with the mind of God, with the Father, that Jesus said he was one with. Me and my Father are one. You're one with God because you're co-creating that reality, whether you know it or not. The circumstances that you don't prefer in your life that are coming up to test you, instead of judging them as evil, why not begin to take responsibility and look into your heart and go, okay, how do I feel about this? Oh, anger, fear, frustration, all these low vibrational states. Wow, this is taking my peace. This is where we need to begin to accept these things. We need to begin to send love to these things. Because the reality is it's all in you. The kingdom is within you. There's nothing outside of yourself. Okay? Everything is you pushed out. Everything is you. People will treat you the way that you see yourself. I'm going to say that again. People and circumstances are going to treat you and reflect back to you that which you believe about yourself. So you can believe what God says about you, that you're loved, holy, blameless, beautiful, one with Christ, made in his image and likeness, or you can believe the pattern that you're not good enough, that you got when you were young, that you're unworthy. And unfortunately, the neural networks in our brains have been so wired into feeling all of the patterns that we learned from religion, from childhood, from bad influences growing up. All right? So in this next age to come, we need to begin to not fight our circumstances, but we need to begin to love and embrace them. Love and embrace ourselves. Accept our circumstances. Because it's in the accepting that we move into another higher vibrational reality, because fear's down here, and then we move into acceptance, we're way up here, and then it's not that big of a leap to actually begin to love ourselves. Okay? So I love you guys. In the church age, we would judge things as good or evil, fighting in the knowledge of good or evil, the wide road, good and evil, Herod, Pharisees, that leads to destruction. Pharisees are really good. They're following the law. Herod's evil. He's doing lawless stuff. He's having orgies and worldly stuff. Good and evil, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the wide road that leads to destruction, or the tree of life. That, yeah, there is a time and a place for all of these spiritual and worldly things to come together in the human experience, and we don't judge them anymore. And we live by life. We live by union. We live by oneness, that we're all connected. Okay? Love you guys. Shalom. Move up higher. Move up to this consciousness level where we're no longer fighting the demons and the devils. Did Jesus fight the devil in the wilderness? No. He did not fight the devil in the wilderness. He began to bring truth into a place where he could renew his mind to truth. Okay? Anyway, shalom, you guys. I love you very much. We're moving into a high vibrational consciousness shift. It's happening on the planet, and I just declare and decree that these words are seed vibrations that are breaking open the limited structures of duality, the limited structures of the knowledge of good and evil in your life. And you're coming into a higher vibrational plane of reality where you don't look to the left or the right because you're on the narrow road to life. Shalom. Peace, friends.